I remembered to scroll back up to the top of the run sheet. Yes. Hello and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We're bringing you Transformers news from around the world and across Australia. This is episode 258. That's 257 times we've done this successfully before now, so you'd think we're pretty well practiced. We are recording live on Friday, July the 8th, 2022. This week we will be discussing what we would like to see from a live-action Transformers series. There's actually a couple of pieces of Masterpiece news out this week, including some new pictures of Masterpiece Skyfire. And do not pass go and do not collect 200 Shaniks. We are going to stop to discuss Beast Wars Monopoly. All of that and more, maybe more, I don't know. All of that is coming up in this week's episode or this month's episode after this. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Jason. Joining me tonight from an undisclosed location somewhere in rural Victoria, we have Brad. How are you doing, Brad?
Oh, brushing the frost off. Hello, Jason. How are you?
Man, it's been a cold week, hasn't it? I regularly ask my Google Assistant what the weather is in the morning, so that I have a bit of an idea about how cold everything's going to be that I'm in for. And I don't think it was this morning. The other day it was like, it's currently 14 degrees and it's going to be a top of 15 degrees. I'm like, wow.
It's going downhill.
yeah, it's not pretty. I went out for breakfast this morning and it was 8 degrees, but I'm a little bit further north than you. I think you've got it worse than 8 degrees, haven't you? I say this as you're wearing a t-shirt. I've got a jumper on. You've got a t-shirt on.
I've also got the log fire going in the cabin, so
that sounds luxurious.
but we probably shouldn't say worse being frosty down here because, of course, the issues with floodwaters up there. But last weekend I was out filming episode 5 of season 3 of the Budget Adventure Show, and woke up in the morning at -8, -2, and I packed up camp at 10 o'clock and it was still 0.
Wait, let me just put this up. There we go. See, we have this ready to go
okay.
When you talk about the Budget Adventure Show. Yes.
I need to do this more often.
Yeah.
There was still frost because I was on the western side of a hill. It didn't get sun until lunchtime, so I was in the deep cold there, and we're going down the river this weekend. It's going to be -2 again, so love diesel heaters.
Dare I say, Chris Hunt says, "Hey lads, love the cold." You might run into Chris somewhere down the river at -2, you say? Goodness me.
But that was... Oh, go.
I was going to say someone else joining us in the chat, Rob Franklin joining from somewhere that's apparently going to be a little bit warmer up in Queensland, although apparently Queensland's also having a bit of a cold snap as well. So.
Welcome, guys. Even though it was -2 then, going to be -2 tomorrow, we got down to -4 for a couple of days this week, and although it feels like -8, so
oh my goodness.
Thermals, singlets, jumpers, the whole 9 yards.
Thermals. How many thermals? All of them?
Well, you start walking around like the Michelin Man after so much, so it's comfort over dexterity, and then just throw a couple more layers on.
No, that's fair. I mean, I think I would also be going for comfort over dexterity if it was that cold. I mean, look, I'm lucky that I'm lucky that I live in an apartment that's like sandwiched into an apartment block that's nicely insulated here, because like I don't have to turn the heating on too much, although it's on at the moment so that I can keep my cat distracted and stop him trying to get in here. But yeah.
But you're sort of in that medium zone between Victoria and Queensland where you still get down into the
medium zone between Victoria and Queensland. Is that how you're referring to New South Wales? The medium zone.
No, Sydney. Sydney.
I will say nobody has ever referred to New South Wales as the medium zone. We do not do things by halves.
Yeah, but you are stuck in the middle there, sort of.
We are, and we don't know what it is that we can do. But yeah. Should we talk about some Transformers? Like we always have it on the run sheet to like insert banter here, but like has there been any Transformers related stuff going on in the life this week?
Well, I should just put new weather talk at the start because that's all we seem to do.
Yeah, I mean, since Max isn't on, we can't dump on South Australia's Tesla battery, but yeah.
He's probably got lights and warmth at the moment. No, there's not really a lot. I've got a recent purchase to talk about towards the end. Been checking out some stuff at retail and not really picking anything up. So Transformers wise, no, not a hell of a lot this week, this month.
What about, dare I ask, Jurassic Park wise? I know Jurassic Park is another of your passions.
Yes, there has been a new film come out. Yes, I have seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to.
You can wait until DVD. No, there's been a slow decline in the Mattel figures. Personally, I think I'll talk about Hasbro and again that decline. I think, or the stagnant QC issues that plague their figures still, or the one I got anyway. But
did you get a Motormaster?
No, I didn't. Is it crap as well?
There's lots of we'll talk about him briefly when it comes to news and releases. But yeah. That's the thing. There's even for Transformers, there's G1, there's Beast Wars, there's all this other stuff you can collect. You don't have to go out and buy the new stuff whether you like it or not. I can go. There's still some stuff in the original canon line for the Jurassic Park trilogy that I'm still getting and looking for. So plus Prime One Studios has got some new statues on the way, which I may have already put a deposit on. So I never pulled the trigger on a Transformers statue, but there's a couple of Jurassic statues on the way that I've. Oh my goodness! Really? Hang on. So Prime One Studios A doesn't just do Transformers statues, and B, you're buying some of them.
I've got a pre-order down with Iron Studios, which is a South American company that does statues. It's a $250 figure, and I'm just waiting for the pre-order to go up on a Prime One statue. So
the Prime One ones, they're usually like a couple of grand, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be a couple of feet too.
Yeah, nice. I say this like conscious of the fact that you always put like Prime One statues stories in the run sheet. I always remove them, which means I'm not actually that familiar with how much they cost. So yeah,
there's also the fact too where most of the time they're sort of what we call them artist renditions of certain Transformers characters or movie characters, which of course not everyone is a fan of movie.
That's true.
Design.
So what are you going to do with the 2-foot-tall Chris Pratt statue? It's life size, I believe.
It is. I've already brought a mattress out in the lounge room where my wife will be living, and Chris will be with me in bed.
But he's only tiny. He's a tiny Chris. Oh dear, tiny Chris Pratt. He's always amusing. I think we should really stop talking about tiny Chris Pratt and start talking about some news. What do you think?
Yes.
All right.
Getting a case of the Vapors.
We'll talk a little bit about news. Wait. Actually, hold on. Before we get to news, there is statue discussion to be had.
I've seen those too.
Chris says, "I'm curious on the Kotobukiya, Fem Prime and Meg statues. This is the young woman who's holding the toolkit and she's like cosplaying Optimus Prime, right? Is that the one we're talking about?
That's the one I've seen.
They look great. Like they look great. They don't look too naughty. So like, you know, like there's a. I mean, that's kind of where I expect them all to go. But like, no, actually, I must say I've looked at the Prime one, but I haven't looked at the Megatron one. At least not that
I have not seen the Megatron one either, but I've seen the Prime, and it's sort of Kiss players and that one. Yeah.
Wait. Let me see if I can bring it up.
This always works well.
This always goes super well. I'm going to Google it live.
young Japanese Prime girl.
This is actually a very good point. I actually should really do this in an incognito window, but whatever. Here we are. In fact, I've got the Megatron one as well. How's this for doing news by the seat of our pants? Right? You ready?
Well, everything else is a month old, so let's do something new.
There we go. All right, there we go. So you and Chris very into the statues. So here we go. So like, you know what? I actually kind of like the look of these. I think the Optimus Prime one is actually due in the next few months. I think I saw it mentioned in one of the Japanese magazines recently, but haven't seen the Megatron one actually pictured. So there's only the pictures here. But yeah, available dates to TBD.
Megatron's got a big ass gun.
I am not actually sure that the massive gun comes with her. I'm not sure.
She'd
sure
want to be
that.
bolted down to a massive base just to stay upright.
Yeah.
And of course, every white hot male is asking,
Chris is very
with the
into
Matrix of Leadership?
Well, she does. You can see the necklace, or the necklace has the Matrix on it.
Yes, of course. The chest opens up.
And I love the fact that she's carrying a case that is basically like Prime's trailer. Like this is actually really quite neat. The more I look at this, the more cool things I find. Right. So her belt looks like Prime's hip. Her glasses look like Prime's eyes and the top of his head, and her pocket lapels are Prime's windows. Like, I think this is cool. Like her boots are basically, you know, like the lower parts of Prime's legs. I think this is cool. What about Megatron? Like Megatron, the Megatron is well, it's a choice.
Doesn't have as many features, recognizable features, I should say.
but Megatron subtly has similar stuff, right? Like I like the fact that her belt also sort of represents Megatron's midsection, and like if it really does come with a giant gun, then like it kind of has to balance up the trailer thing with Prime, because you know Megatron doesn't have a trailer. The leggy and the boot designs kind of take it or leave it, but like at least they've tried to ape the designs of both Prime and Megatron in the sort of the feet and heels.
Well, they should be. Even though I'm looking at my KO MP Prime Megatron, he's got the grey car thighs and then the dark grey from the knees down.
The one thing that I think that might be a problem with these statues, and I'm going to say this just before we move on because like I'll get us cancelled otherwise. Is I don't know whether or not this statue would be an appropriate outing for the original G1 style Megatron, as we call it, the hairy chest.
Oh no, that would not. But she does sort of have that different styled bucket hat with the hat on top.
She does. Chris said, I think this might be in relation to the Optimus Prime one. It says she has a switch out head with the faceplate. That must be the Prime one, and that also would compensate for not having the massive cannon as well there. So yeah, fair enough. So there's big bits and accessories. There we go. Like, you know, how do you like that? We've talked about statues, and we've managed to not make it weird.
Yeah. Plus, it's 2022, so why wouldn't you just have a mask on the Prime one anyway?
You know what? You know what? I've got these things in front of me here that they've been sitting here for months. Let me see if I can pick this up. Oh no, the elastic's gone off that one.
Oh, we're not going to record masks, are we?
So hang on, I'll turn off the screen. I'll turn off the screen share. I got these ages ago. They are. It's off like AliExpress or eBay or something. I'm going to hold that up there. There. They are little masks.
Oh,
little masks. They've got little bits of elastic and stuff on them as well. So you could mask up your Transformers if you need to, because they're all about the right size for it. But what I realized after paying a whopping $3 for these little packs of masks to come in with the elastic and everything on them, is that most Transformers don't really have ears to fix them to.
Well, MP, insert number here, Optimus Prime with the ears, you might be able to get them to dangle over, and it'd be Inception. It'd be a mask on a mask.
So when you do that though, like it kind of hangs over his eyes instead of his
Yeah, it would. Yeah. No, good point.
Do you remember at the start of the pandemic there was that picture that went around showing people how to correctly wear a mask, and it's wheeljack, yes. Exhaust with the visor over the thing. Exhaust, no.
No.
And that's what the Transformers look like when you try to wrap it around their head spikes.
Yeah, you'd have to get a staple or something just to make a hook behind the head to hold it in place or something.
Also, I was thinking a little bit of wire to like just hold it around the back of the head instead of it having to affix to something. And that's about as far as I got with that thought, because like ultimately I really couldn't be bothered for the photo opportunity.
It
was just too much. Yeah. All right. Now that we've
derailed completely.
Well, now that we've spent a good few minutes talking about pervy Japanese statues, let's get back to the news that we were going to talk about. We're going to move swiftly on and get to the news. Straight into news.
Hasbro news.
That will take us into some news.
What news comes from via yonder?
We're gonna open up the news with a little bit of talk about local releases, because there has actually been some stuff released here in the last few weeks. Wave 2 of Legacy is starting to hit Australia in various places. So Legacy Blitzwing has been spotted at JB Hi-Fi, and I think he's also available at Pop Culture and some specialty stores around the place. The best bit is he's on sale at the moment. Like there's sales ever at the moment. So you could pick up Legacy Blitzwing for about $75 if you find the right JB Hi-Fi order. Someone posted in the Facebook group earlier today trying to find a place that had Legacy Blitzwing in stock in Melbourne, and we went to the JB Hi-Fi website, plugged in 3000 as the thing, and JB Hi-Fi stores with Blitzwing stock popped up all over the place in Melbourne. So I'm going to say he's everywhere. So yeah, if you're hanging for Legacy Blitzwing, you should be able to get him on sale for about $75 at the moment. The other thing that I know a lot of people are hanging for this is hang on, he's down here. Studio Series 86 Sludge, the new leader class Studio Series Dinobot. He is also out there. Same deal, about $75. Get him at JB Hi-Fi. Now, I have a thing because like, while I will import a lot of figures for TCCA members, I don't partake of the imported Dinobots myself, because I know that I can get them for about $76. So, and that is exactly what I've done there. So that went well. It has been a month since we've done an episode. So Motormaster, I think, had just been released, or soon. It was verging on release at Big W last time we spoke. Wow, hasn't it been an interesting month in Motormaster news? So what do we have Motormaster wise? There's so he's out. He's $129, probably the best price on the planet to pick him up at the moment from the Big W toy sale, which I think is on for another week or so. Maybe two. I'm not sure. Maybe one or two. You can pick him up.
Well, I started 2 weeks ago, so.
Must be 2 more weeks then, yeah. I can't believe it's only been 2 weeks. Like, there's been so much talk about the toy sale. After the toy sale, he will go up to $160. So if you do want a Motormaster, and I think it's safe to say that a lot of people who are collecting like current line figures are going to be buying Motormaster. They're going to be buying all the Stunticons, and they're going to be making Menasor. So if you do want that, pick him up for $129. The only problem that you have to be careful of when you pick him up for $129 is there has been a significant number of Motormasters showing up with yellowing out of the box. And it's not like the entire thing has turned yellow. It's a panel here and there. So it's unclear exactly what's wrong or what's happened with it. But straight up, under Australian consumer law, if you purchase Motormaster and you get it out of the box and you find that it's yellowed, take it back. It's not fit for sale. You will not be asked any questions or anything about the refund. It's very simple. It's not as advertised. It's not fit for sale. You are entitled to a refund or a replacement at no extra charge. So if you go into a Big W store, you can certainly purchase Motormaster and be very happy with them. Do check it over and just do be prepared to go back if you need to. So, but yeah,
That's a shame.
It is a shame. We've heard a few things from Hasbro about yellowing plastics this year. It appears to be some chemical that's been used for some kind of a process, some kind of a proofing process. I'm told that it's something to do with fire retardation, so that the thing won't catch fire if you put it next to a heater, which is probably a good thing, especially with your open log fire at the moment as well. But yeah, apparently some of the chemicals in there are going a little bit wrong, and they're prematurely aging the plastics. Doesn't happen on everyone. Doesn't even happen on everyone in the same batch in the same place. There doesn't necessarily seem to be too much of a pattern about it. But just know that if it happens to you, you are entitled to a replacement. As Chris said, hopefully it's just the initial batch. Anecdotally, I have to say I've spoken. So he's been released on the 1st of July in Singapore. And I've spoken with some stores in Singapore that say people have been checking their stock in the store before they leave, and they've been fine. So I think you might be right. Maybe it is just the initial batch. We heard from Hasbro on one of the fan round tables. I think it was a month and a half ago or so now. It was one of the previous reveals. Actually, must have been 2 months ago or so. We heard that they had traced the source of the problem, but we haven't heard if they've fixed the problem. Now, this becomes really important to people because there's a very big, very expensive, very white transformer coming out later this year called Victory Saber, and yeah, you really do want to have fixed the yellowing plastic issue by the time Victory Saber gets released. Otherwise, that's going to be a disaster. Look, the Motormaster yellowing issue is already kind of bad, but yeah, at least at the moment, it's if you encounter it, do take it back.
Do you have Motormaster in hand?
I have Motormaster in box.
In box? What's white on Motormaster? It's yellow, or is it?
It's not grey. It's not white plastic. It's actually the grey plastic. And
wow.
Menasor has quite a lot of grey plastic.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. Google this live.
Because that was my first question. The second question was going to go, well, it's taken 2 years, but our figures finally have COVID.
Yeah, that's all right. So look, let me bring up the TFW. There's a thread on TFW where people are logging batch numbers. So the batch numbers are imprinted on the box, and they're trying to make a list of good and bad batch numbers. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure that it's going to work because I can see there's a batch that's good and a batch that's bad.
Yeah.
So it is really difficult to tell. I'm not sure that the batch is actually going to be enough.
Ideally, you're going to get to a high number, and it's going to stop happening after that number. And if you're under it, then chances are.
So if you look at this
wow.
there, so you can see this is one panel that's yellowed there, and it's been assembled in place there. Whether it was yellowed when it was assembled or not is another question, or if it's just something that's happened since it was assembled and put into the box. So this kind of thing does happen. There's a slight discoloration there. Some people are happy to live with it, and others are not. And like I said, if you decide that you're not happy with it, then you are entitled to a replacement or a refund.
So it's not even the painted piece, just the grey molded pieces that are turning.
Yeah, it's not the paint. So and this is why there's suggestion that it's the treatment for the fire retardation on the plastic. There's been some discussion in the last. There's been some discussion, people saying that during COVID and during the pandemic, Hasbro's people weren't able to actually go and go and actually visit factories to determine, whether things were being made to spec and stuff. And so it's possible that something's changed in the makeup of the plastic that's being used as well. However, like this being 2022, we do expect them to be back in those factories and chasing down the issue.
Yeah.
So Rob says, I got my Motormaster on the first day of the Big W sale. I also did. Have checked it over several times and have yet to find any yellowing. So I purchased several from the same store on the first
Of course
day.
you did.
Yeah, and I haven't actually opened mine, but so I got 5, and 3 out of the 4 that have gone out to people have been okay. They're all from the same batch. 3 out of 4 are okay. 1 had yellowing panels. So, yeah, I don't think the batch number is necessarily going to help people.
I just feel for we've joked and laughed at the mint and sealed box masterpiece collectors having that teal MP 8.5 Rodimus, whatever that shadow glass one or what it is, with the exploded kneecaps, and you've got that thing in box with the cellophane on it, thinking, does it have these or does it not? And now, if there's anyone that does collect the legacy figures and keep them in box,
it's Schrodinger's Motormaster. We don't really know what it's going to be like until you get it out of the box. But ultimately, like if you're an inbox collector, it's a closed box, and you'll never have to deal with it.
Yeah, good point. And people know that this issue happens. So if you do buy one and decide I'm going to open it, I don't know why, but you're going to have to face that horror one way or another.
No. Well, there might be a horror. It might not be. So getting back onto the subject of what's been released locally. This week has been a surprise. JB Hi-Fi has got Legacy Elita 1. She is one of the Wave 2 Deluxes. The other Wave 2 Deluxes are Knockout, Tarantulas, and Wildrider. Weirdly, though, JB Hi-Fi doesn't appear to have her wave mates. They just appear to have Elita 1. No one really knows why, but good news. If you're after Elita 1, hit up your local JB Hi-Fi store and she might be there. She is quite the competent reimagining of that figure as well at the deluxe scale. I played with her a little bit last night. It is fairly nice. And finally, on local releases, the vintage Beast Wars reissues of Wolfang and Scorponok can be spotted in Big W stores at the moment. So you can head out there. You'll find them at a slight discount. Scorponok's fairly expensive. I think he's about $70 even with the sale on, and I think Wolfang's about $40, which is pretty much how much he should cost. But after the sale, he might go back up a bit. Just remember, there's toy sales on everywhere, and so if you find what you want in one store and you think it's a bit expensive, Google it and see if you can price match. Most stores will do a price match, and if they don't, they might do it if you ask nicely. So just remember, always be polite. Like the staff on the counter, they're not the ones who set the policy, but always be polite and see if they can price match and see how you go.
No, good point bringing up JB Hi-Fi. A friend was in at our local store last weekend. I think it's Generations, the Gigawatt, DeLorean Back to the Future. It was in there for $40, which I don't have it yet. I need to get it.
That's a good price. Yeah, definitely grab him.
Yeah, and the Jurassic Park T-Rex Explorer crossover set was $149, which was not as bad as the $190. I think it ends up coming out for on Amazon.
I'm pretty sure his retail price is $200 at JB when the sale's not on, so that's cool. Yeah.
After a $92 pre-order, but for $149, I'd be a lot easier, a lot better getting it for that. So
leader and a deluxe. Leaders are kind of up around $100, $105 mark now, plus a deluxe $35 to $40. Yeah, it checks out.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know if that Beast. Rise of the Beast Megatron mold, so it'd be a good one to get.
Couple of notes from the chat. The Big W toy sale ends this Wednesday. There we go. So
is that the one just gone or the one coming?
I assume if this person just got an email, it would be ending this coming Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
And Chris is also a fan of Gigawatt, like me. I also like him. Overseas releases, since we are still going through releases, Legacy Wave 2 has hit overseas. So the cores are out. The cores are a repack of Kingdom Optimus Prime's core, a repaint of Megatron into G2 Megatron, a new mold of Shockwave, and a repack of Iguanus from Wave 1. So it's quite the assortment for the cores at this time around. Deluxes, there's 4. There's Wildrider, Tarantulas, Knockout, and Elita 1. Which I might just hold out. I'll hold up a couple of them here. We'll be talking about them a little bit later. And Voyagers, which are G-Axis, who's a new mold, and Soundwave, who is a repack of the Siege Soundwave. They should be hitting. We're starting to see them in local stores and like EB and Zing and the like here. They'll probably take a little bit longer to get out to the department stores. Also overseas, we've seen Buzzworthy Pterosaur, the toy accurate deco of Pterosaur, and Dinobot, the toy accurate deco of Dinobot. I think it's the toy accurate one.
The turkey.
The turkey. Yeah. They are not coming to Australia officially from Hasbro Australia. So if you are looking for those figures, you are going to have to import them. So they hit. Actually, I'm not sure about Dinobot. I've seen Dinobot on. There's a particular website in the Netherlands that's been showing off these things as first drops. So the fact that it's in the Netherlands, I think will it'll end up being released in a week or two overseas. The first item in a brand new masterpiece line, MPG-01, Trainbot Shuki, is out, and I'll just hold that up there as well. There's his box, and also one of the more interesting things that's come up in the last few months, Takara's new tensegrity stands. They've been released as well. They're about sort of $20-$25 each if you pick them up. And I saw the look on your face when I said that. So I'm going to assume that you're not familiar with the tensegrity stand. Is that right, Brad?
I'm just wondering how many different names they've forced into one.
Well. So this is what a tensegrity stand is like, and you may have seen videos of these going around in the Lego space a little bit. Oh, that's not what I want to do.
I have not.
So you may have seen like pictures and videos of these going around, and so I'm going to go back to the Google results and try to find this one. So it's a curious curious piece of physics, right? Because this stand, if you can see my mouse pointer, is held by this chain, which supports this structure, which is then chained to the base. So it looks like it shouldn't work, but it does, and it's kind of a neat illusion in a way. And so Takara has released their own versions of this tensegrity idea, but as you can imagine, like Takara's stuff has sort of come quite late. So I'm not sure that people are that interested in tensegrity stuff anymore. However, they did, of course, pack it in with an Optimus Prime, which does look pretty good. He looks like a chunky boy here, but having seen him in hand, I actually do quite like the Optimus Prime. He is an Optimus Prime repaint of the Siege Ultra Magnus.
Are they cheating with the stand? Is that an acrylic cylinder that the grey is on top and bottom, or is there nothing in between?
So like the Lego one, there's like three anchor points. So like there's a point that hangs between.
Oh, okay, I can't see that. Yeah, and so they're chains on the outside. Okay.
I'm not sure if they're chains or if they're fishing wire or something like that. I haven't opened them, but but they're out there. I've got a couple here. I'm not sure what I would do with these on a display. Like they're just. Yeah, they're interesting curiosities for me, but I can't fathom myself having them on my display.
Well, any figure you put on there is going to have the attention taken away by what is it standing on?
Yeah, by people looking and going, what the fuck? So the Autobot one is red. I'm going to say red. I thought it was orange originally, but it seems to be red. So the base is clear. The top plate is red for Autobots, purple for Decepticons, grey for Optimus Prime, and yeah, like it feels like if you were going to put them on a display, you might want to get one and the other, and one to hold Prime or one to hold Megatron, perhaps, or something like that. But Yes. So that's an interesting curiosity that the Tensec Ready stands. We've heard about them for a while and they're out now. Now, how about would you like to talk? Would you like to talk about some live action Transformers?
I don't know. I've been thinking about this for a day and a half, and I still don't know what I'm going to say.
All right. Well, let's do it and see what you say. So we have heard a rumor in the last couple of days that a live action Transformers series is in the works for Paramount Plus. Now, the source of the rumor is a reputed entertainment news leaker, Daniel Richtman, who I don't know who is, but the folks at TFW are very fond of him. Said that there's a live action series in the works. Now, apparently, he's very rarely wrong. So, what do you think is going to happen with a live action Transformers series? Do you think it might link movies? Do you think it might be something that links up Rise of the Beasts, perhaps, or do you think it's going to be something else entirely? Like, have you where have you landed on this, Brad? What do you think is going to happen?
I don't. No matter where it's set, I know some will think, well, now we can finally get our on Cybertron, War on Cybertron, i.e. the start of Bumblebee, but that opening sequence would have cost probably a third of the film's budget.
I think that's about right. Yeah, but also that wouldn't be live action. That's just CGI. Like this is specifically a live action movie.
But also series. Paramount don't have the volume in that. But even that, there's been some criticisms with what Disney's done lately with Obi-Wan. A lot of the stuff seems, yes, it's definitely shot on the volume. There's not as much expanse. As I said, I've been thinking about this for a day and a half, and I still don't know where or what a live-action TV series could be. I don't think they're going to return to the Bayverse, filling in gaps in between. As you said, Rise of the Beast, maybe a prelude to Rise of the Beast, where they can tell a 6-episode, 10-episode story. But then, since when has any of the movies needed or had a lead-in, apart from maybe a couple of comics, to just, oh, well, now we've got these characters. So, not sure where this can go.
So there's a couple of things that give me pause with this, right? So we know that the absolute most expensive component of the live-action movies are the Transformers themselves. So, if you're gonna take this down and do things on a TV budget, why would you use the most expensive part of the movie as the basis of your series? It's an interesting choice. I think by virtue of the budget of this thing, it needs to be a human-centric series that also has Transformers in it, which instantly alienates a ton of your fan base. But also, I think then it lends itself towards being a Nest series, or like something to do with the humans as they relate to Transformers and stuff like that. So, yeah, I feel like a Nest series could work, but it also depends. It depends where they set it.
I like Chris's idea. Might be like Knight Rider, just having the Transformer. It's not a Transformer, but stuck in car mode and vocalizing.
Yes.
And we get that one shot every episode where it actually transforms and kicks ass. It may only be for 10 seconds.
So basically, it becomes like Voltron, where they form Voltron and punch it at the end.
Mask, Knight Rider. The other thing I was thinking, since everything old is new again, maybe they make a Optimus Prime puppet, and we have the G1 season 5.
Season 5 of G1.
Bring that back, where we just tell old war stories or whatever, and have a puppet Prime hand come in and pat Billy on the back, or whoever the hell it was.
So I think there's a chance that because we are a year out from Rise of the Beasts, right? So if this is in the works, then people are already talking about it. Maybe people are already writing scripts. Maybe there's already production happening on this and we just don't know yet. I do think that there's a chance that it'll be like a... I saw that.
I'd love that.
You need to actually refer to the comments there. So Jason Weber says maybe they'll do it Robot Chicken style. Yeah, that would be interesting, and it would also actually lend itself more to sort of Transformers being a bit of a fun franchise at the moment with bots and with Earthspark seems to be sort of set as pitched as a bit of a comedy as well. However, again, if they do it Robot Chicken style, it would not be live action. It would be like that. That's kind of stop motion.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was saying, but like I think I was saying if it was a limited series that was not like, we're going to make season 1, now we're going to make season 2 and have an ongoing story. If it was a limited series that was designed to bridge the gap between Bumblebee and Rise of the Beasts, because there are some significant changes between those two movies, because there's like a 10-year gap narratively in the universe, and there's almost a 10-year gap in the real universe because Bumblebee was from 2017 and Rise of the Beasts is coming out in 2023. Something that actually bridges the gap and tells a between story would be interesting. You did point out that some of the comics do often do this, but if you're going to do this for movies and like Paramount, you own a brand new streaming service that you're trying to get eyeballs on, why wouldn't you do this?
Well, and to touch briefly on the comics, I don't think we got one after Dark of the Moon. I think that was the last time we had the prelude. Right. So, yeah, we got nothing for them. My only other issue is Paramount Plus.
Go on.
I've got it only because it's got Survivor. Survivor and a couple of, I think, the new Star Treks on there as well. But I don't know if it's going to be a draw card, especially if there's not going to be so much wowing with the robot characters. But
it's an interesting question, right? So, like, Paramount Plus is what it is, but like they've got their content offering, and it's fine. I've watched some Paramount Plus shows. I watched Dexter New Blood. I have watched Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I literally just finished the season finale for season 1 just before we started recording tonight. It's
no
excellent.
Spoilers. Okay.
No spoilers, but it's excellent. It's probably the best first season of any Star Trek show ever. It's just been fantastic. Halo was a big draw card. It was a very heavily promoted series. I really enjoyed it. I know some people didn't. But yeah, interesting. What about this idea? A G.I. Joe series instead of a Transformers series, or what about a G.I. Joe crossover with Transformers? Yeah.
Well, we had the whole Hasbro cinematic universe that was starting to be built off the last night. So who knows what's still in the background?
I actually have not watched the G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes movie. But I'm told that there's a hint of Transformers in there in one of the post-credit scenes.
Okay. I watched 5 minutes of it and stopped because of time. No, it's because of time. Every time.
Why did you hang on? You watched 5 minutes of it and stopped because you ran out of time. Why did you start it?
Well, because I had an episode of Star Trek and then the boys to watch, so I wanted to get to that. I was more interested in that, but yeah, I do want to go back to it. I've heard good things. I hope it's more than just someone in a Bumblebee costume like TMNT out of the shadows.
So look, we don't really know what form a live action series would take for Paramount Plus, but I think there's definitely possibilities that would make it interesting, and probably also something that we would watch. I mean, let's be honest. If it's made, I'll watch it. I may not enjoy it and see also the Netflix series, but like, I'll watch it.
Well, when you compare it to Bots, the whole Netflix Siege, Earth, Beast, Kingdom, whatever series, Armada, Unicron, animated.
I mean,
a lot of people hated it, but
as a live action series, it's a very different proposition.
Well, yeah. But when you just sort of look at some of the low points that some fans think the franchise has had, can it be as bad?
Most fans think the franchise has been ruined forever several times.
Oh, yes. There's some fans that think 84 is the only time Transformers were good and it went downhill from there. But no, mate, you love what you love, so...
Yeah. All right, let's move on from live action Transformers and let's talk about another thing that's been ruined forever, shall we? Which is Masterpiece MP48 Plus has been announced this week by Takara. It is a repaint, which we hadn't seen a repaint of the Masterpiece Leo Convoy, and so it's the first repaint of that mold. He's dark amber, which is a really interesting color choice. He's got lots of sort of blacks and grays and one might say pre-yellowed gray on there with the amber color. It's a very striking look we can see for the figure here. It's very sort of Nemesis Leo Prime. It is apparently based on a very obscure e-hobby release from back when e-hobby used to release toys or something like that. But I believe he's due for release in January 2023, so a month before Masterpiece Skyfire, who we'll be talking about a little bit later on. Do you have the MP Leo Convoy, Brad?
No,
I had him,
I do
but
not.
I sold him.
This is screaming shell former.
I think I sold him.
Oh,
I'm not sure if he's under my desk still, but yeah.
Check the pile.
Yeah, I need to check the pile. It does. You looked at this and said that looks pretty nice. Like, does that appeal
it does
to you
look
enough
good
to buy it?
No, I've got no anything with this character. This seems to be one of the more shell-formery Masterpiece figures that we've got. I consider it's probably 200, 240 in price. And no, I
think that
don't.
seems about right. Yeah.
Yeah, no. It does look good, and if Leo Convoy, I've seen someone Nemesis Leo there is your cup of tea, then yeah, go for it. It's a good looking figure.
I do not plan to get this. I am getting out of my. I am getting out of the Masterpiece Beasts. Numbers do not sway me anymore, Mr. Brad. They hold no power over me. I'm not getting it. Also, I already bought 48. This is 48 plus. Don't need it to complete numbers. Ha ha. So yeah, but new Masterpiece, and so this will be the January Masterpiece release. And I'm not sure what Masterpiece releases we have for the end until heading up to the end of the year. There's Trailbreaker in December. There'll be the second Trainbot, I think, in about 3 months' time. So it's July now. There's generally one a month. So there's I feel like there's a couple of repaints coming. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. We're going to talk about my love of how much attention Beast Wars is getting a little bit later in the show. But the last Masterpiece figure I purchased was Tigertron, and that seems like 3 years ago. I don't think we've had another Beast Wars Masterpiece figure announced since. So maybe maybe we're just getting the tail end of the love of Beast Wars now. We're going back to G1 and some other things. So
perhaps I do think the Beast Wars anniversary is over. However, Hasbro is still cranking out the vintage Beast Wars reissues. They're still doing Beast characters in Legacy as well. It's sort of like they reintroduced the Beasts in Kingdom, and now they're here to stay instead of sort of being a special line here and there. Yeah. All right, let's move on. I was just saying what Masterpiece figures are coming out between now and the end of the year. There is MPM 13 Blackout. He'll be one of the month's releases coming out between now and the end of the year. You had a question when we were running through things for the run sheet before the show started. What was that question you asked? You were asking me if I've got the Studio Series version of this guy.
Well, yeah, that was to then go on, because I know a lot of people have been comparing them. If they've got the Studio Series, and they're probably not going to buy this one. I've seen Grindors still in my local Big W, I could have Grinder on my shelf and say it's blackout any day of the week, but it's being a leader figure, I think it's hell, what are they? 80, 89 bucks, 90 bucks or something.
No, 90 to 100, depending on where you buy it.
Yeah.
So I have seen some comparison photos of the sort of some close-ups on the detailing and the engineering between a leader class Blackout or Grindor at the moment versus Masterpiece movie MPM 13 Blackout, who is on screen at the moment, and the differences are significant. Like, it's not just like an upscaled thing, or it's not a repaint of it. It is a differently engineered figure. It's unfortunate that it's coming out at the same time as basically the same figure in a different line, or at least the same character in a different line. But like any spot, if you were to grab like a front-on photo of Grindor like this and look at anything, you'd see a massive difference in the engineering into MPM 13. It's way more detailed, and yeah, it's a you can see why it's the masterpiece figure.
Yeah. All right. Well, in hearing all that, I'm definitely interested in picking Blackout up. He's one of my favourite characters from that first movie. I still, as long as you don't try and pose it too hard, the original Voyager is just still an alright looking figure. Yeah. But this just looks a whole lot better and would scale a lot better to those original figures too, just because how big the Sea King is compared to Bumblebee.
Yeah, no, he should be massive in his MPM form as well. I'm pretty sure he's one of the biggest figures in the MPM line because his alt mode is huge.
Well, it'd be leader or original leader size, which
maybe
definitely the right size.
I was going to say in the show prep you asked me if I had one of these. No, I don't, because like I'm not interested in Bayverse bots. I had my hands on this guy when it was on store shelves, like 5 years ago. I was like, nah. don't.
But then we've discussed on numerous episodes in the past about you don't have to be collecting every single thing that's been released, and just how much that's changed over 5 years. How much that's changed the lines. You had the main line, which was Generations or whatever. If there was that movie line of the year and maybe a cartoon, that was it. Where now you've got all this stuff coming out. It's just if you are purchasing every single thing that's coming out, then hat off to you.
If you're purchasing every single thing that's coming out, you're going to be very poor by the end of the year.
All burnt out, or
maybe
in a very claustrophobic environment because you're going to have boxes falling on you and everything else. But light effects as well on that minigun. Yeah, I do like.
I think you've talked yourself into this purchase over the course of the last 5 minutes.
Indeed, I have.
All right, fair enough too. And
there she is.
There's a good look at the alt mode as well.
Mm.
Let's move on. We're going to talk about a leak that came out this week, which these do appear to be the Wave 3 Voyagers for Legacy. So we're looking at presumably two new molds. There's Armada Starscream on the left and Beast Wars Inferno on the right. Armada Starscream, of course, turns into a jet, and Inferno turns into a fire ant, I think it is. Inferno looks very much like a bigger version of Buzzsaw, and Buzzsaw and what was the Kingdom? The Kingdom Waspinator? Was it Waspinator?
Yeah, the original Waspinator. Yeah.
So he looks very much like a sort of like an upscaled version of that, which I think if he's an ant versus like a flying insect, like he's gonna look fairly similar. He's got that sort of animal texture to him as well there. And yeah, he's got the sort of the animal legs hanging off his back and off his limbs as well, which we sort of see with Black Arachnia and Tarantulas. That's how they do these. Armada Starscream, so he's got basically two swords, although one of them looks like it could also double as a gun. And looks like he's going to be the basis for another line of repaints for now until forevermore. Maybe this is a sign that Hasbro might be done with the repaints of the Earthrise and Siege Seekers, because we're moving on to a new one. Thoughts, Brad? What? I mean, Brad, you're the Beast Wars man.
Yes, let's talk about.
What do you think of Inferno? Yeah,
I can't wait to see a review or two just to see if that I'll be anatomically correct and say the 4X, if it can fold down and hang between his legs like the original character did. I'm guessing I haven't picked up the Legacy Waspinator, but I'm guessing it folds up on his back, unlike the cartoon. But this looks fantastic. The original Inferno was a mess. I've got some legs and some pieces of it here. It had playability, but this is definitely something I'll be looking at to pick up as soon as I find it in stores. It's good to see some Beast Wars figures still sort of dribbling, the dregs dribbling out that we didn't get in Kingdom, Rise of the Beast, or whatever you call it.
I think I think also, like, frankly, it's nice to sort of put up a new figure reveal and say, oh yes, that looks like something I'm going to go and buy. So yeah, very cool. I am unsurprisingly in for Starscream, because I like me a Seeker, I like me Starscream, and I don't actually have that much of a connection to the Armada Seeker mold, but like, come on, it's Starscream. It's a cool looking jet. It looks really good. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah.
So after how many repaints are you going to say stop?
Well, how many repaints are we really going to expect for this? Like, I would say they haven't done that many Armada repaints. Like, obviously you can expect Thundercracker, or as they also call him, Starscream Super Mode. There's a Ramjet that does the rounds as well in white. I mean, I would expect a Skywarp as well, just because where one goes, the others go. But other than that, like, I'm not entirely sure what they'll do with this. Like, the possibilities are there for them to use this for some Gen Selects molds that might be quite wild.
Well, there's 4 repaints. Would you get all them?
Maybe. Well,
I suppose, it depends. Depends what it looks like, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean,
if the molds.
I've got the old Universe, the BotCon TFSS Ramjet version of that mold. He's up on my shelf somewhere behind me here. So, like, maybe I'd get the white one to go with that, and Starscream. And I mean, who am I kidding? Like, if they make more Seekers, I'm just going to buy them all.
And if the mold's good, solid, it's already a good looking design, then why not? There's a reason there's 35 for the Generations Seekers out there.
Yeah. All right. So look, these guys are Wave 3. I would expect that Hasbro is going to officially reveal these at SDCC in 2 weeks' time, because there is a panel description out there that will talk about the new Legacy toys that they will have just revealed by that time. So I would expect these guys to be officially revealed at SDCC. Very quickly, let's move on and look at some pretty photos of MP Skyfire. He is massive. He's next to other figures there. Like, that's MP44 next to him there, and he comes up to his waist. Absolutely massive. Absolutely love it. I think someone got a hold of him on YouTube and has put up a video showing some of the comparisons. I think showing some of the transformation as well. He's got a very, very simple, very intuitive transformation as well. And I think we have been surprised by how much he doesn't cost. Like, you can get this guy for about $320 from Asia. If you go by our Australian pricing, you'll find him at $600 at EB. But if you pay $320 from Asia and pay maybe $100 to post it in here, like, you're still saving nearly a couple of $100 over eBay and Zing. It does appear that maybe he's actually that cheap because he's mostly plastic and doesn't have that complicated engineering inside him.
Yeah,
It's
well, that would
really
help.
just size.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of transformation videos doing the rounds and sort of showing, he's not that difficult to deal with. He is a big bot. He's 35 centimeters tall. You can see on this one here, and got lots of articulation, posability, some blast effects. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You not really too much of a surprise. You can change his Autobot symbol to a Decepticon symbol as well, but it is not a flip. Sorry. It's not a flip around panel like on the Siege toy. It's actually a piece you can replace. So I'm definitely in for an MP Skyfire. Are you interested in acquiring one?
Well, I love the episode Fire in the Sky, whatever it's called. With where Skyfire's brought in, he's not really a character I'm that fond of. And this is going to be bad.
He got short shrift in the cartoon. Like he was, they didn't use him because of the legal implications around the Jetfire mold.
Plus, it's another one of those characters that was brought in late after they'll just organising the movie, so he wasn't going to turn up there either. I've got the Deca Toys Kronos, which is probably one of the first of the third party attempts at Skyfire.
Yeah.
It has its issues, but it's a good representation of the character. Looking up here now, the Masterpiece Ironhide's probably looking at his crutch plate, pretty much the same as what this. So it's nearly the same. Although this has got sort of a bit more wingage above the shoulder blades and that, but it's still got the backpack just above the head. So it's sort of for another $300-$400. It's not really something I'd want to change.
Like you've got a Masterpiece Jetfire on your, you've got a Jetfire on your Masterpiece shelf.
Yeah,
and so you don't feel the need for another one. Yeah.
Especially when there's still gaps.
Yeah, fair enough too.
Yeah.
I am up for him. I used to have Fans Toys Phoenix, but I sold Phoenix when Siege Jetfire came out because I liked the idea that Jetfire would be a figure that I could actually, get down off the shelf, pose, and actually play with. Whereas Phoenix was sort of like, oh my god, it's so expensive and precious.
Like most Fans Toy stuff.
Yeah, and so I am a fan of the idea of having a Masterpiece Jetfire that goes back in the shelf as well. So I will be importing a Skyfire instead of paying $600 from EB.
Plus, right. I've heard a lot of people sort of saying, "Well, I've just got the Siege Jetfire," which,
as Rob says, there it'll be interesting to put them side by side with Siege Jetfire for a compare and contrast. Siege Jetfire doesn't look very much like the cartoon, and that's by design. This guy is very, very animation centric. So if that's the look that you're going for on the shelves, then fair enough. But yeah, like many people have just gone, yep, Siege Jetfire is good enough for me for a Masterpiece shelf, and they put it up there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, because I think the size won't be too far off what this is, but we just can't have the same as the Thrilling 30 Jetfire that's got or Skyfire that's got the Jetfire faceplate to make it look like the Valkyrie.
All right, we are going to move on from Skyfire and go to one of the stories that we promised we would talk about at the start of the Saturday night. Beast Wars Monopoly.
That's fantastic. I'm loving the love that Beast Wars is getting. I hope I'm not a liar. I'm pretty sure I've got the G1 Monopoly in my cupboard that I've never played.
This has actually come up a bit in the last week or so because Beast Wars is on pre-order, but people have noticed that the G1 Monopoly has been reissued with new artwork. So the original release of the Transformers Monopoly game used artwork from Pat Lee and from Dreamwave and things like that. And that's been going around for a long time. And in 2021, they actually updated it with so-called evergreen artwork. Sort of the sort of more modernized designs of Prime and Bumblebee. So that's the version that you'll find on store shelves at the moment.
No, this one's from a few years ago, but I swear it's got the Sherman Dam. It's got Prime with his lightsaber.
Yeah, probably does.
Patent pending, and Megatron with his battle mace. But I just love the fact we got little tokens there: Dinobot, Megatron, Black Arachnia. I would have loved them to add paint, but yeah,
the playing pieces being little miniatures of the characters is pretty cool. My favorite feature of the game that I can actually see in this shot is the 5-line legal disclaimer that has to be printed on the board where someone can see it during gameplay. I'm not sure why they couldn't just put that underwards, but there we go. Yeah.
And I suppose I'm sure the G1 version's got some pretty good looking tokens as well. So again, I haven't opened it yet. Still in its wrapping, still minting sealed box. Maybe it's gone yellow too. I don't know.
Never know.
Find out one day.
That's just going to be the joke of the year now. Oh, maybe there's a better look at the pieces there as well.
So it looks like you get half and half. Half of them are in beast mode, and the other half are in their robot modes, which is interesting.
Maybe. So you can see there's some off in the background there. So this is clearly not all of them. It's almost as if someone took the game out for a play test and just snapped some photos of it. And yeah, I will say that this looks too perfect for a Monopoly.
Yeah.
So I think this is very staged.
Yeah. No one has their pieces and cards laid out that size.
So Beast Wars Monopoly is on pre-order from. There's a bunch of places. I'm just googling it now to find out where to pre-order it from. You can pre-order it at Pop Culture, and probably EB Games. I don't know.
I'm sure EB. Oh, hello, Blitzwing. I'm sure they'll get it in. But definitely interested. Definitely looking forward to it.
So I'm not very familiar with sort of what they've changed the chance and community chest cards into, but like it's all just the same thing with a different skin on it. So
I've never played a themed Monopoly set. So what changes with all that sort of stuff? Even Mayfair Drive, is it Mayfair Drive or is it you get to own Cybertron? I don't know.
So I think the relative values of the properties remain about the same because that's part of the mechanics of the game, but just the names change.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm very amused at looking at the board, and I think I do remember noticing this on other branded versions of it, which is there are certain elements of the game that never change. So the in jail corner always has that depressed looking dude in it. I'm pretty sure the free parking icon remains the same, and I think the go sign also remains the same as well.
What Transformers figure is always behind bars?
Oh, I don't know.
I was just trying to think of who's got a faceplate or eyes with bars on them, but to cheat. But
Rob says chance and community chest would be maximize and terrorize. And so yes, but also you can see in one of the photos of the board here, you can see there's one space that says maximize / terrorize. So I'm not sure. I think and there's a I think that's a Predacon logo there, and then something else down here. So don't know. We'll find out. Find out when the game comes out.
I promise I'll get it, and I'll do a 14-hour playthrough.
You should totally live stream that.
No, I shouldn't.
So speaking of getting games, let's talk about one that you won't be getting, which is Transformers Heavy Metal. If you remember, I was very up on this when it was first announced because I'm a long-time Ingress player. Ingress being one of Niantic's first VR AR games, and it was never quite clear whether it was never quite clear whether or not they were licensing the Lightship engine to someone else who was making the game, or if they were actually working on the game internally. It does appear that they were working on the game internally, because Niantic has had they've shed a little bit of their staff in the last couple of weeks. I think they shrunk their workforce by 8%, and so Transformers Heavy Metal is one of the casualties of that. I believe the game had been in testing in a couple of territories, and so I would say it won't go beyond that test. I'm not sure whether that test is still even running. So yeah, if you've been looking forward to that, sorry, but it won't be happening.
I don't want to pretend to understand how or what goes into designing in all these games and that, but just the massive franchises. As I spoke at the start, we've just got a new Jurassic World movie. The biggest franchise that Universal owns, and we've got a mobile game. A fucking $10 mobile game that someone threw together. Transformers. We had Devastation, which widely accepted as a great game. Then High Moon wasn't anymore, and then we had that.
Was after High Moon. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Are you a fan of the High Moon games?
Yes.
So we should mention this rumor, even though we said we won't be talking about rumors. There has been a discovery from all of those gentlemen over in the States who go through Walmart and Target and things like that from their systems. There has been a discovery of a War for Cybertron branded studio series lineup coming. Now,
I've got the 4 Cybertron / War for Cybertron figures in my display. I love all those figures, and if there's more coming, I'll be supremely interested.
So there's listings for WFC Barricade under Studio Series and WFC Bumblebee. Now, whether or not they're a re-release of the War for Cybertron series, or if they're actually, like, being Studio Series, you sort of expect them to be tied to a media property. So maybe we're looking at video game characters coming into Studio Series as well.
That would be nice.
It would be nice. It would be nice to see those games get some love. So, yeah. All right, we are slightly over time, but let's talk a little bit about some new acquisitions, shall we? I know you've got an acquisition there that you want to show off as well.
Yeah. You got ahead of me. I was just going to finish off on the gaming thing.
Sorry.
There's the Universal Jurassic Transformers being such a massive franchise for Paramount, and what we got or haven't got with it. And here's another game cancelled yet. In the last 2 days, I haven't watched them, but I've seen trailers for a new RoboCop game and a new Terminator world expansion game, and that which Orion Films dissolved in the early 90s, and we're still getting video games for those franchises. So I don't know. Anyway,
pretty sure RoboCop stuff is actively developed and licensed still, because there was that movie a few years ago with Joel Kinnaman.
Oh yeah. But still, it's not a hot topic. Anyway, yeah.
Let's go for your acquisition there. You've got Tracks.
New Tracks. I don't know how. It's not the Legacy one. It's the one before that. Whatever that is.
It's Kingdom Tracks.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
Just everything's so loose.
It's a common complaint with that figure, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think we discussed too the fact that it was first announced the front not clipping together in car mode. The front doesn't clip together in car mode, so it's a shame. You go into the store and you think, right, I'm just going to buy Tracks. I've got the Masterpiece version. Not so much. I just love the design, love the car mode, love the fact that there's a triple change and flying car, and just you spend your money and it's just get that. It's just a shame.
It's understandable.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Beast Wars reissues earlier. I forgot about that, but I did get Primal.
Oh, nice.
I think it was $13 or $15 or something. Just Big W's had the original Wave 1 Beast Wars reissues just dropped. Yellow tagged, something shocking. So
they've had to drop them to get rid of them. They priced them way over the mark when they were first released. It was unfortunate, but it is what it is.
But yeah, it was just good. Like, got it for the young fella, so he didn't have to get me original one out of the display to play with. I wish there was a Dinobot, a Megatron, or I wish there was a heap of other figures that.
There is a Megatron. Not sure about Dinobot.
Okay, no, I've never seen. The only ones I've seen over there, and they're all just the Cheetor, Rat Trap, and Primal. I think were the three.
Yeah, so
and they had multiples of those.
So for this year's releases, and I'm just going to go through this list because I think by now it's fairly obvious that I have a list of this year's releases that I haven't given to people.
Bring me down.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
I'm too big on screen.
There we go. I'm not going to screen share my list.
No.
But I'm just going to read through the list. So Scorponok and Tigatron, they happened earlier in the year. Cyber Shark and Maximal Wolfang, they happened in April. Wolfang's only just come out here, and Scorponok has only just come out here. Cyber Shark is still being pursued on local shelves. August is apparently going to see Pterosaur and Retrax, and October is apparently going to see Tarantulas and Canine. There has also been a listing for Iguanus discovered. I think Iguanus might be next year.
Okay. Well, I better keep on checking Big W then.
Yeah. See how we go. I'll do my acquisitions. I'll do acquisitions. I won't take too long with them. I do have a couple of Legacy Wave 2 Deluxes as we spoke about earlier. So there's the Transformers Prime Universe Knockout. It comes with a cool spear gun thing. His weapon's a two-piece thing that you can equip in multiple ways. Very cool. He's a repaint of Studio Series 86 Jazz, which I was not that up on when I first heard about it, but I think he looks pretty great. His head sculpt is really nice. Not that you can really see it because it's a bit blurry there, but really, really nice head sculpt. He is, of course, being Prime Knockout. He is a very pretty.
Oh yeah, I was going to say this Knockout sculpt.
As far as other acquisitions there as well, I haven't transformed this guy yet, but there's a new Stunticon. There's Wildrider. He is yet to be attached to Motormaster to form the back of Menasau's leg because as I said, I haven't opened Motormaster yet. But I published a couple of photos of this guy yesterday, and there's a lot of love for his alt mode. Like his car mode just really, really slaps. It's really nice. He's a really nice looking car mode there.
Question: I know this may be more of a Combiner Wars thing, but do you feel there may be a box set to car or something of the Menasau set down the line a little bit? Because I've only seen drag strip in stores. I haven't seen Motormaster, and I fear that time has come to find him in stores without going to eBay. Or
definitely don't go anywhere.
No.
eBay. Like he's in Big W stores for $129, and if you can't find him in store, you can order him online.
Oh, I suppose, yeah. I could forget
that. Do not let it go by, because as we saw, the sale ends on Wednesday. Don't let it go by without going and getting it, because why pay an extra $30 for something?
Yeah,
that's just silly. I would definitely get him. What were the other ones you mentioned there?
Drag strip. Drag strip.
So drag strip's out. He's everywhere at the moment. You can get him for about $25 if you price match at the moment. Definitely do it. It's gonna be a really nice Menasau. Yeah, very, very happy with him. I will put myself back up to the center stage for one more acquisition, one of which just fell over on my desk there. But we do have the MPG Masterpiece Gatai Trainbot Shuki. Very, very nice. Quite a lot of heft to the figure as well. There is some die-cast in him. Early leaked reviews said that there wasn't, but that's actually patently a lie. Like he is quite hefty and quite heavy for his size. It is really nice to sort of get the first figure in a new line. And I must admit, I was quite surprised when I got the box, and I was like, oh, that's quite a small box for a masterpiece, but obviously he's packaged in train mode, and train mode is very complex, very compact.
Yeah,
So very nice.
That'd be good.
He does come with a couple of pieces of track in the box there as well. If I hold that up there, so fairly light on accessories. There's a sort of a chest shield, I think, that goes onto Raiden's combined form. There's a couple of seats that can be placed in the cockpit of the train, and if you put the seats in the cockpit, you can actually get the Diaclone pilots from Takara's Diaclone line to sit in the train. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
People say that you can. That also actually works with the human figures that have been coming with other masterpiece figures like Spike and the like. But it seems like it works best with the Diaclone pilots. So yeah.
I can just imagine too, if each release comes with a couple of pieces of track. For those space limited, might be able to just have the train at the front of the masterpiece shelf. If they do display their figures in alt mode instead of robot mode.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not sure if all of the train tracks will connect up to the same. Will connect up with each other, because we were talking about this last night. Some of us. Japan has multiple gauges of railway that are all active at the same time, and so some of the train bots are from different forms and stuff. So I think while they might put track in with each of the train bots, it's not meant to connect up as a playset. I think it's just meant to be there for display.
Oh, I didn't realise they were separate trains. I thought they were just separate carriages.
Yeah. So they're different bots. Brett Deverell asked, how's his size? He's about 18, 19 centimeters tall. Depending on how you pose him, like obviously, like if you spread the legs out, he's a bit shorter. Really, really nice. There's a lot said about the MPG bots versus the Moon Studio bots, and I will pause just to say for a bit that, like, I've handled a couple of the Moon Studio bots. They're really nice figures if you want that big chunky, heavy third party giant thing that looks vaguely like the thing that it's meant to be aping. But these are the official figures. Like this really looks like Shuki. The face sculpts on the official figures are fantastic, and also I think because Takara's actually designed these after the real train modes, instead of where I think Moon Studio's just gone, Shuki's a white and blue train. Cool. Well, let's just make a white and blue train. Like the Takara ones they actually do ape they look like the train models that they're meant to be impersonating and meant to be disguised as. And ultimately, I feel like the Takara train bots have more soul. I don't really care for the Moon Studio ones. So yeah, people will tell me I'm wrong, but it's not my fault that they're wrong.
It's your money.
Well, exactly right.
Buy what you love.
That is it. So we're a little bit over time if we were trying to do a 1 hour show, but after a month away, like that's probably unlikely. But we're at about 1 hour 22 minutes. Very briefly, so we are in the new financial year now. So TCCA, everyone's TCCA memberships are invalid or expired, I think is probably the correct word.
You're not a member anymore.
Nobody is a member anymore.
But come back, come back.
Please come back. But we will be announcing, we will be announcing this year's membership option.
Right now? No.
No, not right now, but I am gonna show a bit of a tease, like, I'm going to show a bit of a tease and just see how this goes. Which is to go. Where's my
foot?
Yes, yes. Where did this come from? Yeah. Here we are. Oh, not that one. That's the back. All right. You know what I will do is I'll show someone. I'll show one of our trading cards.
Ooh,
which hasn't been seen before, but I will just show people what the trading cards look like for this year. Now, last year we had Scourge and RC, and I will let one of the cards go out for this year, which is unsurprisingly Cyclonus. So Cyclonus is going to be one of the membership cards this year. I'm not gonna tell you who the other one is just yet, but stay tuned. We will have our membership announcements ready to go in probably a week or two's time. We'll see how we go. This often happens. We'll end up doing memberships sort of mid to late July. Yeah.
Number 16, that card. So, 15, 16, 5 years in for the club.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Who thought we'd get to card number 16, right?
I was just trying to scramble to get card 1 and 2 done.
I know. I was putting together the 16 for this, and I'm like, good Lord, I can't believe I can fit those digits in there. So, yeah. It's good. I should also mention that we're changing our artists every year now, and this year's card artwork has been done by Brad Pickersgill, and you will see his art posted in the group fairly often. He just posted a piece today, and I can't remember who it was, but it looked awesome. We've been very fond of Brad's art as he's been posting things throughout the course of the year, which is why we asked him to do our card art for this year as well. So yeah.
Yep, lovely. Thanks a lot for that.
All right,
if you're listening.
I think that's about it. Do you have anything to add before we finish the show?
No, I don't think so. Again, it's hard when we're a few weeks apart to cover it all without doing a 4-hour episode. But no, I think we covered a lot of it and had some good discussion in the meantime. So, yeah.
Fantastic. I agree. Let's bring this puppy home. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you're watching along with the live recorder, and a few people have been, thank you very much. It's a Friday night. We don't expect everyone to watch live, but we're very grateful when you do. Thank you for checking us out. You will find out more about these stories with links to them all and stuff like that in the show notes. You can get in touch with us. Brad and I are both in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook, and if you so desire to look at the website for the podcast, it is transformersweekly.podbean.com. We are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia, a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers donating their time, effort, energy, money, and Friday nights to make life and collecting life in Australia better for everyone. We want to build the Australian Transformers collecting community by engaging fans around the country. We make content like this podcast. We attend live in-person events like Oz Comic Con, and we run the largest dedicated Australian Transformers community. That's our Facebook group and our sales group. You can also find out more information about the benefits of TCCA membership when we get this back up on the website, and how to show your support for what we do at transformerscca.com. You can find me in the Facebook group. You can also find me on Twitter at JM77, and of course, Brad.
You learn new tricks.
Hey,
new tricks.
Oh,
there it is.
Brad, there we go. The YouTube Budget Adventure Show.
Yeah, every now and then you get I get the thank you from you for producing this and releasing the podcast. This is baby shit. When I've got 100, when I've got 120 gigs of raw video and 4K for an hour and a half long episode, I've been working on it all week. Just it takes two nights to get everything downloaded to me. Laptop.
Yeah, I was going to say it would take that long just to load the footage.
Yeah, and then even now it's just about I've got some extra music to add. If I get a chance to get it started tonight, it may be rendered by Monday morning. It's just
if the podcast is a little bit late, we won't hold it against you.
No, I'll well, I brought the young fella a new laptop, so I might be editing the podcast on that just so my hard drive doesn't crash. But yeah, it's we're filling the time the best we can, and whether it's podcasting here or out in the bush with a camera, talking to myself, it's it's different things. So yeah, good fun.
All right, that is it from us. Please go and subscribe to Brad's channel on YouTube. And if you want to talk to me, you can find me in TCA or on Twitter, and you can find Brad in TCA as well. That is it from us. We will be back with more Transformers news, views, opinions, Philpinions, and things that we think about stuff soon. It might not be It might not be next week, but it might be next week as well. We'll find out. We like to keep people on their toes. So thanks,
keep
everyone.
Guessing.
Yeah. Always keep them wanting more, mate. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
See you guys.